Under the sun's golden embrace, the fields of Miranpur stretch out in tranquil beauty, a testament to nature's untouched splendor. Arav and his widowed mother, their figures silhouetted against the radiant fields, work side by side. In the distance, nestled peacefully among the fields, the quaint village of Miranpur exudes a timeless charm, its rooftops gleaming under the sun. Beneath the shade of a sprawling tree, Arav gathers the village children, his kind eyes reflecting a genuine passion for teaching. With simple tools and captivating stories, Arav imparts knowledge with unwavering honesty and diligence, his every action a testament to his noble character. Beneath the dappled sunlight of the village square, Arav and Samir stand together, their laughter echoing through the open space. Samir, dressed in finer attire, playfully nudges Arav, his grin wide as he teases his friend about his simple life. Despite their different backgrounds, their deep bond fills the square, a testament to a friendship that transcends appearances. They exchange stories under the sunlit trees, their voices mingling in the quiet square, each word painting a picture of contrasting lives. Samir shares a dream, his eyes sparkling with ambition as he speaks to Arav. Their friendship stands as a vibrant contrast to their differing personalities, a bond strengthened by shared laughter and mutual respect. In a room adorned with expensive art and modern furniture, Samir gestures emphatically, his words echoing with ambition. "I'm telling you, Arav, I'm going to be huge. My company will be a household name, everyone will know it." Arav listens intently, a thoughtful expression clouding his features as he absorbs Samir's fervent declarations. Arav counters softly. "That's great, Samir, but are you sure you're thinking about the long term? About what really matters?" Samir dismisses Arav's concerns, declaring, "What matters is success, Arav. Making something of myself, not just existing." Arav's voice softens with concern. "There's more to life than just work, Samir. What about family? What about giving back?" Under a veil of dim moonlight, Arav trudges wearily toward his home. Long shadows dance around him, mirroring the unspoken worries weighing down his steps. Each footfall echoes his exhaustion and confusion. The village slumbers, yet the wind whispers secrets only he can hear. The night air carries chilling whispers, adding to his growing unease. Arav sits isolated on a weathered wooden bench, a solitary figure amidst the vibrant life of the village. Villagers move around him, their voices a low murmur, their eyes casting wary glances. Whispers echo around Arav. Samir sold the herbs alone. He never intended to share the gold. Arav clenches his fists, his face etched with disbelief and hurt, trying to shut out the accusing voices. Arav stands in Samir's home, the lavish decor a stark reminder of his own life. Samir leans back, a smirk gracing his face. Arav's voice wavers. "But you promised." Samir dismisses him. "I made a choice. Let it go." Arav's eyes reflect a deep sense of loss, not for the gold, but for the shattered friendship. The opulent room seems to mock Arav's despair. Samir bursts into Arav's home, breathless and desperate, the afternoon sun casting long shadows around him. Samir exclaims, "There's a merchant in the forest trail. He's offering gold for exotic herbs. I know where they grow near the old caves by the cliff." Arav frowns, his face shadowed by concern over the dangerous territory. Samir is consumed by the promise of wealth and partnership. Arav hesitates. Samir persists, a triumphant grin spreading across his face as Arav seems to consider the offer. Arav and Samir search for herbs along the cliff edges, tension thick in the air. Samir shifts, eyes darting, and announces, "You stay here and gather more. I'll go find the merchant." Arav is firm. "We agreed to stay together." Samir insists with a dismissive tone, "I'll be back before sunset." As the sun sets, painting the sky with fading light, Arav's growing dread sharpens his resolve. He forages for herbs, his hands moving quickly, driven by fear and urgency. Arav walks alone down the forest trail, each footstep a heavy echo in the gathering dusk. The deepening silence of the woods amplifies Arav's growing sense of betrayal. No sign of the merchant or Samir. Arav faces the stark reality of Samir's deceit. Arav turns for home, his shoulders slumped with the weight of a broken promise. Years later, under the benevolent shade of a sprawling banyan tree, Arav transforms young minds. Clad in simple, homespun attire, Arav's eyes radiate a fierce determination, a beacon of hope for the village. The children, engrossed in learning, practice writing on makeshift slates. Villagers pass by, their respectful nods and warm smiles painting a portrait of Arav's profound influence. Arav commands respect, not through wealth or power, but through unwavering dedication and unimpeachable integrity. Inside the grand mansion, Samir sits amidst a chaotic gambling scene, surrounded by men in opulent attire. Empty bottles and scattered cards litter the table as Samir throws away gold coins, his laughter echoing carelessly. The sounds of revelry fill the air, masking a sense of impending doom that looms over Samir's reckless behavior. The lavishness of the scene sharply contrasts with Arav's simple life, highlighting the stark differences between the two. Unaware of the consequences, Samir continues to gamble, his actions foreshadowing a dark turn of events. Miranpur is under siege as the monsoon unleashes its fury, the river now a ravenous beast devouring the village. Amidst the chaos, Arav's school remains defiant, a solitary lighthouse in the storm-tossed night. He throws open the doors, his face illuminated by the flickering light within, ushering in families seeking refuge from the storm, including a drenched and defeated Samir who shivers uncontrollably. Samir, soaked and trembling, whispers, "I don't deserve your help." Arav retorts, "I gave my word to help anyone in need. I keep my promises." Miranpur village is devastated. Homes and crops submerged, despair hangs heavy. Amidst destruction, Arav's school stands resilient, a beacon of hope. Arav, his face determined, organizes supplies, bringing order to chaos. He comforts a child, his gentle words a balm in the overwhelming despair. Despite the ruin, Arav's resolve shines, a promise of resilience. Inside Arav's school, villagers huddle, seeking solace from the storm. Samir sits alone, shame a heavy cloak upon his shoulders. He avoids the eyes of those around him, lost in his solitude. Arav moves among the villagers, a beacon of hope in the refuge. He distributes food and blankets, his presence a stark contrast to Samir's isolation. The school echoes with the sound of rain and the quiet sobs of the displaced. On the school rooftop, a spark of hope ignites in Samir's eyes as the tool is offered. He reaches out, his fingers closing around the handle with newfound resolve. Side by side, Samir and Arav begin to work, their movements synchronized by a shared goal. Each motion is precise, their collaboration seamless as they work towards a common purpose. The rooftop is filled with the quiet determination of their combined effort. Their synchronized actions resonate with a shared vision, hope blossoming with each completed step. In the heart of the village field, Samir strains under the weight of a bucket, his face etched with exertion. His hands, marked by blisters, tremble as he struggles to maintain his grip. Arav approaches, his gentle smile offering a beacon of hope. Arav demonstrates the correct technique, his movements fluid and effortless. "It's not about strength, Samir. It's about balance and technique." Samir watches intently, his frustration melting away, replaced by a newfound determination. As evening descends upon the village, long shadows stretch, painting the scene with the day's final light. Samir grapples with the tools, his efforts clumsy, betraying his inexperience. The villagers share glances, a silent acknowledgement passing between them, yet their faces are etched with encouragement, not scorn. With gentle guidance, Samir begins to grasp the task, a spark of understanding igniting in his eyes. A sense of accomplishment washes over Samir as he realizes he is weaving himself into the very heart of the community. Lanterns cast a warm glow as Samir stands at the blackboard, a calm focus in his eyes. With patience, Samir explains a complex equation, his voice measured and steady. Older children sit at wooden desks, their faces lit with curiosity as they follow Samir's every move. Daddy Mira watches from the doorway, her silhouette framed by the soft light, a warm smile on her lips. Dadi Mira speaks softly, her voice full of emotion. Arav, your school saved this village, but your heart saved this man. Arav responds, he just needed a reason to remember who he could be. The council's dilemma. Months passed. The floodwaters receded, and life began anew. A village council meeting was called to discuss rebuilding the farmlands, roads, and wells. The headman's seat was now vacant, and people whispered about who should lead. Many expected Arav to be nominated, but during the meeting, to everyone's surprise, Arav stood and said, I propose Samir. Gasps filled the hall. Samir rose in protest. Arav, no. Not after everything I did. But Arav spoke calmly. We need someone who understands failure and still chooses to rise. Samir has changed, not because he had to, but because he chose to. The council debated long into the night. Finally, they agreed. Samir would be acting headman, with Arav as his advisor. That night, Samir sat with Arav by the fire. Why did you trust me after I broke my promise? Arav looked into the flames. Because I made one too. I promised myself I would never let bitterness make me forget how to forgive. Under their joint leadership, Miranpur flourished. New roads were built. A community fund helped farmers recover. Girls were sent to school. No one was left behind. Samir never took credit for anything alone. He always said, this village walks on two legs. One is Arav's wisdom, the other is my resolve to be better. Arav remained a humble teacher. He expanded his school and wrote books for children's stories of honor, loyalty, and forgiveness. His most popular book was titled The Promise That Was Kept. Years passed. Arav grew old, his hair white and his steps slower. One evening, as he lay resting on a cot outside his home, Samir visited him. They sat in silence, watching the stars. Do you regret it? Samir asked. What? Not chasing the gold, not punishing me. Arav smiled. I once thought gold was the prize, but now I know the real treasure was the chance to turn a broken promise into a bridge. Samir nodded, tears in his eyes. I owe everything to you. No, Arav said softly. You owed me nothing. You just needed someone to believe in who you could become and know who you were. A few days later, Arav passed peacefully in his sleep. The whole village gathered to honor him. Children carried candles, elders told stories, and Samir, with trembling hands, placed a plaque outside the school that read, In memory of Arav, the man who taught us that promises kept build more than trust. They build people. Moral of the story. True strength lies not in never falling, but in rising after betrayal with grace. A broken promise may wound, but keeping your own word even when others don't can heal not just hearts, but entire communities.